just by completing their moveset in training mode. Now, in the last game, in order for you to get a support counterpart of a playable character, not only did you have to complete their moveset in training mode with all those problems, but then you had to either do a run through the Battle Royal mode or the one-on-one mode in that game. And so they reduced the amount of work you had to do to unlock a support character counterpart, which is good, and I'm glad that they did that, because with the amount of characters in this game, the last thing you want to do is go through all that work in training mode and then have to go to the arcade mode, the 1000 Arena mode, and play one of those modes, you know, with, all the playable characters just to get their support character counterpart. So I'm really happy they reduced it. So that's a plus for me. Team edit mode. Now, this is when knowledge of anime really comes in handy. In team edit mode, you can make preset teams using a playable character and up to 3 support characters. Now, what the support characters do in this game is they act as your assistants. When a match first starts, you have to wait a while. Like, there's a wait meter on the bottom of the support character that lets you know, okay, like you got to wait this long until you're able to use that support character in the match. And you got to wait a while before you're able to call them out. And once the meter is full, you can call them out either by holding down left trigger and pressing either Y, X or A, or was it X, B, and A? I'm not sure. It was either one. Or like you can just simply just by using a little stylus and just by tapping on them, you can just call them out. Now they have a nice variety of support characters, because when you call them out, some of them actually have some interaction that you can do with. Like, some of them have multiple attacks. You can click on for which one of them to do, like just by tapping on that little screen that shows up next to them. You can charge their attacks to make them stronger. With others, you have a choice whether you want them to face right or left. So, which is helpful. When your opponent tries to jump over you, you can hurry up and you can switch them over to the right or switch them over to the left, wherever their opponent is trying to jump, and you can hit them with the attack. So, yeah, like it's a nice variety. Now, on top of that, the support characters also act as a stat booster for some status nullifiers as well. And each support character has a different reaction to a different playable character. So, in terms of like stat bonuses and things like that. So let's say, for example, like this support character, when it's paired up with this playable character, like you get all these like positive stat bonuses, like health, speed, GP. Well, if you pick that same support character for a different playable character, the support can have negative effects on that playable character, which makes sense because in the anime, the characters may have been enemies opposed to these other two guys, being allies. So it only makes sense that they were reacting in kind in this game. Mind you, you can pick up to 3 support characters, so you have to check the labels underneath the characters that will let you know if they will have any positive or negative reactions to that playable character that you're picking. Now, on top of that, if you just so happen to pick characters who are all allies or like they all have some type of history with each other from the anime, like I said, this is when the anime comes in handy. You also get team bonuses. Now, these team bonuses can come from you just pairing up people who are in like the same crew from the anime. Some people who have like some type of history in the game, they actually put some in-game exclusive type teams, with certain characters like, like it could be something as generic as, using all females or, something like that. And, you know, and you can tell which ones are going to end up being, allies or, like teammates or things like that, because a small chain link is going to appear at the bottom left of the screen on that character, like just to let you know. Now, not every playable character will have, like, 3 support allies, like just some of them will have 2, others will have 1, and some don't even have, a link at the bottom of the screen. Like with Law and Beepo, like that bear that I usually pick through the game. And because in the anime, they're actually a part of the same pirate crew. The bear, Beepo, he's actually in Law's pirate crew. Like, if you don't watch the anime, then you probably don't even know who I'm talking about. But yeah, sometimes they're going to have characters who are in the same pirate crew, or they're allies, or they work together a lot in the anime, but in the game they don't have any links at the bottom, but they have like a lot of positive effects that can be a huge asset to that playable character while you're playing. So yeah. Now, when you make these teams in Team Edit, you can actually use them in the New World mode and Thousand Arena mode for like a quick access, so you don't have to manually scroll through all of those characters. Now, let's talk about the combat. Now, the combat takes on a different form. Like, it has some tweaks here and there, and the characters have, like, they have more so their own identity in this game than in the last game, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Now, the combat is like a free-for-all brawler style of gameplay. The control scheme is a simple layout. You have your jump, block, grab, the R button, which allows you to access all your specials. You have the L trigger, which if you hold it down and you push, like, a button, you can call a support character that's linked to that particular button combination. And there's also an attack button. Now, the attacks aren't as linear as you may think. Like the different attacks depend on what direction you're holding down on the D-pad. So, let's say, for example, like, like if you're holding down, then an attack will actually, swing down or hit the ground or something like that. So something in the surrounding area. Or if you're holding like down forward, down forward, then the attack can go in a vertical pattern or horizontal pattern. Or if you're holding like up and forward, then the attack can go in an upward vertical incline. Or if you're holding up, then the attacks can even go upward. And the same scheme happens in the air. So if you just so happen to jump in the air trying to like catch a target or whatever, then, you can just do the same thing. So the button scheme isn't as linear as you would think. Also, in this game, something new that they implemented is the broken status. Now, in the previous game, when you fought against the computer, sometimes you end up going against a computer that seems to block, all the time. And I mean literally all the time. And it will be frustrating, like you will be trying to complete a mission and the computer seems to block it like that. I mean, like it was just aggravating, like to the point where it was just annoying. Now, in this game, if you run into a character like that, after they're like blocking, seem to be blocking a lot, then, and then after you hit them a certain amount of times, you can actually break their guard, which does damage, and that's what the broken status is, which is good because, and every character has at least one special that causes this. I mean, like on top of the regular moves, like just by just wailing on them constantly, they have, you know, each character has at least one special. Some of them have two or more, you know, but every character has at least one special that allows the broken status. So that can be pretty helpful against matches against characters that all they want to do is sit in the back and block 24/7, or they seem to run around and block a lot. You know, and you know, if you watch my playthrough, then you can actually see a few characters that have those kind of specials. The treasure mode, which is like the extras menu in the game, where you can view anything that you unlock, like pictures, the background music, the character profiles, which gives you some backstory on the characters. Like you can view the battle records, how many hours you played during the game. So yeah, that's what the treasure mode is about. So let's talk about some of the positives and the negatives. You know, okay, first let me start with the positives. You know, what did I like about the game? Well, obviously the content. The characters, the amount of characters in this game blows the previous title out the water, which a sequel is supposed to do. So I don't know if I really should give it points on that or not. But for me, it's not necessarily the amount of characters they added, it's who they added in those character slots that, you know, really made me a happy, you know, guy. Yeah. But yeah, like the amount of characters that they put in this game blows the previous ones, you know, the amount in the previous game out of the water, because it's over twice as many characters in this game than they had in the last game. I think the last game had like 20 characters max, or, you know, like 20 playable characters max. In this game, there's over 40 playable characters. So yeah, they added a nice roster and some characters that I didn't even expect to be in a One Piece game. Truth be told, like they come from movies and different storyline arcs. Like I thought they wouldn't have put those characters in here, but you know, I'm glad they did. And not only that, but it's other skills that the characters have that really separates them from others. You remember when I spoke about earlier that each of the characters have a, like in this game, the playable characters take on more of an identity than in the last game. And like, this is what I mean. There are 5 types of characters in this game. You have the humans, you have the fishmen or mermen, depending on what region you're in. And then on top of that, like there's the three types of devil fruit users. The Paramecia, the Logia, and the Zoan. Now, the human characters in the game are the ones who are like technically not using any powers. Now the humans take less damage when they fall into the water. They gain their GP faster. Now, I've been saying GP throughout this whole review, but let me explain what the GP is. Like right underneath your health bar, there's this green bar called the GP, which is like a special meter. And when it fills up, you actually gain 1 level to your, for that character, which you can use for your specials and all. And the majority of the characters have 3 GP levels that they can use. And, you know, like that's what GP is. But yeah, like the humans gain GP faster, and the alternate states last longer. Like, for example, if they have like some type of power up state or anything like that, or I think it means like if the character gets poisoned or, like burned or even paralyzed, it lasts longer compared to the other characters. So yeah, now the fishermen, now when they fall into the water, like instead of them losing, any life, they lose like half of their GP, which makes sense. I mean, they're fishermen, they're used to being in water all the time. So I guess it would make sense that when they fall in the water, it doesn't necessarily hurt them. But, since this is the game, they had to take something away from them. So they take away half of their GP, and that's it for them. Now the paramecia, the paramecia fruit users. Now they can break. Well, first off, I have to explain like what the devil fruit users are. That way you don't get too confused when I'm talking about them. In the One Piece anime, there are these fruits called the devil fruits, and depending on what type of fruit you eat, you gain certain powers. Now there are 3 different classes of devil fruit. They have the paramecia, the logia, and they have the zoan. Now, in the One Piece anime, there are a lot of characters that have eaten devil fruits that have obtained powers. Now, what the different categories are the paramecia, the logia, and the zoan. Like I said, with the paramecia, the person gains certain physical or mental abilities. Like they basically turn it into superhumans. Like the main character of the One Piece storyline, like he's a paramecia fruit user. Like his body can turn into rubber. I mean, like his body is made out of rubber now from eating one of the devil fruits. Then there's the logia type fruit user, which they can turn into a certain like force of nature or like a certain element. And it's a few characters, and like some of the most powerful characters in One Piece end up, having this, like Firefist Ace, like he had it, like he can turn his body into fire, or like one of the Navy admirals, like they can control ice, like it's just a wide variety of things. And the zoan fruit users, like they can turn into certain animals, and so that's basically what the 3 devil fruits do. You have the paramecia that makes you superhuman. You have the logia, which turns you into an element or a force of nature, and then you have the zoan, which turns you into some type of creature, like an animal or like a dinosaur, or in some rare cases, like even some type of mythological creature. But yeah, that's what they do. So with these 3 characters, like like little common skills that they have in the game. Like first with the paramecia fruit user, is that like they can break the guards and cause the broken status a lot easier than the other types of fighters, and they take a lot more damage from sharp attacks, from like swords or like claws or bites or things like that. And like all of these, like except for Buggy the Clown, because in anime, like he uses the fruit power called the Chop Chop fruit, where he can get sliced or like he can detach a part into like a certain like part of his body, and like throw it out for attacking or whatever, and like he can reassemble himself at will. So I guess it would only make sense that they implemented that in the game as well. So that's a nice like attention to detail in my point, in my opinion. And then there's the logia fruit users. Now what they can do is that they take less damage from certain attacks. They earn less GP from the bingo blocking. Now what a bingo block is, like, it's just like a time block. Now under normal circumstances, like when you do a bingo block, it actually pushes back the person that attacked you, as well as like it can gain you like a lot of GP, like which you can use towards your specials and things like that. And with them, with the Logia type fighters in the game, like they gain less GP from bingo blocking. Also, like when they do a bingo block status, the character whose like attack they guarded against, they actually turn like they actually turn into their element, and they like transport behind them, and like they're open for an attack now. Well, not that character is open for an attack, but the guy who attacked that character and that you blocked against is open for an attack because you transport behind him. Yeah, but moving on. On top of that, they can also use their GP to guard against attacks. Now, when you're they can actually turn into their element. Like all you gotta do is like hold down and block, and basically what it does is that they stand there, like in this guard stance, and what they would do is actually like they would transform. Well, what they would do is that they would like create this elemental armor on themselves, and they won't take damage from any normal attacks, but you do lose GP rapidly when you do that. So, like the only time to use this ability with the Logia fruit users is when like you're all filled up with GP and like you don't feel like using any specials maybe, and your opponent is attacking you, then you can use that that skill, and you won't take any damage, and it's helpful. And last but not least, the Zoans. Now, unlike the four other types of fighters, the Zoans have 4 levels of GP. They have 4 levels of GP, and they gain GP slower than the other types of characters. Now, they can use some of their GP to increase their attack, defense, and speed for a short while. Also, they still need all 4 levels of GP to enter what's called heat mode. Now, what heat mode is in the game is that when your character dies, if that character just so happen to have all of their GP levels filled up, then the character will get back up and they'll start flashing red, and you'll enter this like what's called heat mode. Now, in heat mode, what will happen is that even though like all your health will fill back up, like it'll start decreasing rapidly, but your GP will increase fast. And like what is like basically what heat mode is used for, like it's like that last minute type deal, for like a last chance to win a match, like for like a certain length of time. But say for example, like you run out of health and like you have all your GP. Well, when your health runs out, all your GP disappears. So yeah, basically that's what heat mode is. Like it's like just a last minute, like quick burst of energy. That's what it is. Like the Zoans, they still need all 4 levels of GP filled up in order to enter heat mode. So the characters take on an identity, like opposed from the last game where they didn't have that. So it's some nice add-on and some nice attention to detail with the different types of characters that they have on the roster. Now another positive that I have is the stages. They have been redesigned, recolored, from the last game, and the interactive features have actually improved since the last game, and they added new stages that, in my opinion, are even better than the redesigned ones. So, I mean, like there's one stage, like which is my favorite, where, like it was around like the last video I think that I was on, and like at first, like when you're first playing on that stage, like it's like this Amazonic type ruin, and as you're playing it on it for a while, soon like the stages start rumbling, and then after a while it'll knock you into the air, well, like all the characters into the air, and then all of a sudden like that stage will fall, and then another stage from the background will zoom in, and then the characters will fall on that, and then you just continue to fight, and it just keeps on doing that, like just until the match is over, which is cool, and I like little features like that, that they added, and like the little interactive stages, because it does make for some good visual effects, and that like it really just help each stage, like like just take on an identity of their own, like outside of like just the design, and like the different way they were drawn and things like that. So I'm really glad they implemented those interactive features in it, and yeah. Also, the amount of missions per stage. Now, on the previous game, what like you could be on a stage, and like those stages could have like four missions on that one stage, and it would be like, how can I put it, like out of those four stages, three of them would actually complement each other, and like that fourth one would be like the odd man, well, like the odd mission out, you know what I mean? And for example, like the first three missions, like the first one would be like you got to KO your opponent one time with a special attack. Then the second one would be you have to KO your opponent a second time, like two times with an attack. Then the third one would be you have to KO your opponent three times with a special attack. And like then that fourth one would be like like don't use any specials at all, and it would kind of force you to replay that same stage in order just to get that mission done, which was cool at first, but then they do it multiple times in the game, and then it got annoying and frustrating because you just wanted to finish the game. Once you got finished with that stage, like you just finished all of these missions in one fell swoop. You shouldn't have to go back, but they did it in the last game. It got annoying, but in this game they only limited each stage to one mission per stage, and that's good. So I'm glad they fixed that. Oh, I almost forgot. You can fast travel in up in the One Piece New World mode. Like when you're done with the initial adventure mode. Now, when I say initial adventure mode, like I just mean like all the like when you just played just the regular stages, up to the boss, and you just did that, like like just until you have beaten the initial, adventure mode of the game. Now, mind you, I had beat the initial adventure mode on part 34, but I didn't get finished with the game until part 58. So like it is like a good amount of content and a lot of extras in there for you to do. But yeah, moving on. Like you can go back on like with the fast travel. Like you can go back and you can unlock more characters and content in the game, but instead of like physically having the character travel back all these areas, like you can just like what you can do is like you can push X and you can actually scroll through each of the islands like by pressing one of the triggers, L or R, and like you can fast travel to like the exact spot that you want to be in. So let's say, for example, if you earned enough money and like it's a shop on a different island that you want to go to, like you don't have to just like fast travel just to that particular island. Like you can actually go to that shop on that island, like right there, and you don't have to worry about going through all like these long ass chessboard moves, just to get to it. So that's a cool feature that they added into there. What else? like the controls. Um, oh, and another thing before I forget, another positive that I can't believe this almost slipped my mind. Like I didn't even have it written down. This game is extremely rewarding. It is extremely rewarding, and that is a huge plus because, like some of the missions, well, like like some of the content in the game, it is extremely hard and extremely like tedious to get, and the game makes you feel like you never wasting your time. Like like doing all of this, there's always some reward to get it. Like whether it's bonus money, like which is something that I didn't even know that they did in the game. Like outside of that, now when I say bonus money, like I'm not talking about like certain missions that also like give you money, but like after you play a certain mission a certain number of times, or like after you play a certain number of missions, like then the game will actually give you bonus money for doing all of these things. Like sometimes you could be at like 9,000, and then all of a sudden your money will shoot up from like 9,000 all the way up to 100,000 from like just doing like some grinding. Because like I said, like these characters do have levels, and it is like some mild RPG elements into the game, but it's not as heavy as it was in the last game. In the last game, like the character's level maxed out at 50, I believe. Like up in this game, the character's level maxed out at 10. But even that level is low. Like you still have to max out that level in order to beat some of these stages because they are pretty hard. But yeah. So now let's talk about the negatives. What I didn't like about the game. Now, what I didn't like about the game, first off, the controls. They are repetitive. They can get repetitive. And yeah, like I know I gave it props by saying like it's not as linear as someone may think, but more times than none, you're gonna find yourself doing the same thing over and over. Like like the same attacks over and over again, and it just gets repetitive and gets kind of, well, like I wouldn't say stale, but well, hold on. Like I have to say, like I don't know, like if this is really like a bad thing necessarily, because like in a game like this, like you don't want like a really difficult control scheme. So I don't really know if you can say that this is a bad thing, but it does work for the game, but it does get repetitive, still. And for me, like that's kind of a negative, like a mild negative, not a big negative, but it's still a negative, nonetheless. What else? Oh yeah, the shops. Okay, now, like when you first enter the shops, like there are two sections, but only one of them you can actually access at first. There's one at the top that you'll be able to access right away, and then there's another one at the bottom that you'll have to, like which the game will let you access later on once you reach a certain point in the game. Now what that second part are like these three items. Now one like is like this pickaxe. The second one like is this mini shop, and the third one like is like this mini silhouette with this arrow wrapped around it. And now what they do is like the pickaxe, it opens up new areas on that map that you're on. So the game does lend itself to some replayability outside of you wanting to go back and like just complete some of the missions that you didn't complete for all the features that come with beating that mission. You have these extra areas for more characters and more content that you can unlock just by going to the shop, and you can buy that excuse me for getting up, but yeah, that pickaxe, you can buy it up to 3 times. So there are multiple areas on each island that are hidden, which you can go to the shop and buy, all you gotta do is just go there, head to the second part of the shop, and like just buy the pickaxe. Now that character silhouette with the arrow around it, from what I read, like that buys skills. Now I'm not sure if that's like the skills that I was talking about for like each of the 5 types of characters, or like if that's skills for the support characters. So I'm not really sure which one, but you can buy skills. So yeah. Now here's where my problem comes in. Like the mini shops in the second part of the shop. Now when you buy these mini shops, what they do is that they unlock the special skills that are hidden in that first a section of the shops. Now, for you to have to buy something in order to buy something else, I mean, that's stupid. Like, and the way they used it in a game like this, it makes it stupid. I mean, yeah, I know in certain games they have certain features to where, like you gotta buy like the first upgrade before you can buy the second upgrade, and things like that. And that's fine for those type of games, but this game doesn't use that in that type of way. And the way that they use that is really a useless, complete waste of time feature that I really wish they didn't add, because sometimes when you're trying to unlock the other special moves in order for you to buy them, more times than none you end up running out of money because the little mini shops cost so much. And it gets frustrating because then you have to go back, do more grinding. Most of the times, like, all your characters' levels will be filled up, and then you have to go back and continue to get more money. Yeah, the game gives you bonus money, but still, like, the mini shops are really expensive. Mind you, when you buy the mini shops, like, it's no telling what set of unlocked special skills you're going to get for the first section of the shop. So let's say you're trying to buy special moves for a certain character. You have to go to the second part of the shop. Well, let's say you're trying to buy special moves for a certain character, and like, I don't mean to, like, try to repeat myself, but like in that first section of the shop, like all of that particular character specials aren't in there. Well, what you would do is that you would go to that second part of the shop, you would buy that little mini shop, and then you can go back and you can see if it's on there. So you're not necessarily sure if you're getting that set of special moves. So you would have to actually purchase that little mini shop like up to 3 times, which you can do, but like you would have to purchase it like 2 or 3 times just to get all this just to get the character special moves that you're looking for. And like I said, it's stupid. It's a feature that they could have went without in this game. I mean, like, they probably thought that it would add more to the gameplay, but it's just an annoying feature. I mean, that they really could have done without. Because like I said, more times than none, you end up running out of money, and it just gets annoying from time to time. So, overall, who would I recommend this game to? Well, obviously, like, if you're a One Piece fan, you're gonna want to get this game because it does follow like all of the storyline arcs pretty well. It has some nice features in it. Like I said, it's extremely rewarding. And you really feel like you're not wasting your time when you're doing like the missions, even though some of the work is very extensive and tedious. Yeah, like when you get finished with it, with doing all of that, like you finally unlock your reward and you really feel like you've accomplished something, because yeah, the work is tedious, but it's always a reward for doing all of that. So it's a big positive. Like, who else would I recommend this game to outside of that? Like, just fans of people who collect, like, just some anime tie-in games. Also for people that, like, just looking to expand their, like, their library of the Nintendo DS. And like, they're into collecting imports. Like, I would also recommend it to them. Like, as far as the people who I wouldn't recommend this to, like, like, if you're not somebody that likes to, like, not, like, into that whole brawler, like, free-for-all beat-em-up style game, like, I wouldn't recommend this game to you at all. And, like, that's the only type of people that cross my mind that I would not recommend this game to. But overall, like, what do I rate One Piece Gigant Battle to Shin Sekai? Well, like, when you take in all the positives and all the negatives, I honestly think the positives greatly outweigh the negatives of the game. The amount of content, like even that little hassle with the mini shops, and other negatives that I spoke on. Taking all that in, I would have to rate, like, the One Piece Gigant Battle game, like, I gave a 7.5, I think, out of 10. For this game, but for the anime fans, like, like, I would honestly go as far as giving this game an 8 out of 10. For the anime fans of One Piece. The reason why I say that is because, like I said, it does follow the storyline arcs very well. It does a good job at being extremely rewarding. It's great replayability with it. And all these other features that it has that really makes this game worthwhile. And I think you're really going to have a lot of fun with it. I thought it was somebody outside. That's why I was looking. But yeah, for like non-anime One Piece fans, like, I can't see giving this game no lower than a 7.8. Yeah, because, like, sometimes, like, I'm gonna put it like this: this game is meant to cater to One Piece anime fans, in my opinion. Because if you don't know about the One Piece anime, then more times than not, like, you're really going to be confused. Like, you won't know what characters go with what. And, like, like, sometimes, like, that can be frustrating and you may want to just, I don't know, like, give up on the game, which I seriously doubt. But, yeah, for the anime fans, like, on a detailed level, like, I would say that this game gets an 8 out of 10. For like, just everything. For all of the storyline arcs, for the amount of characters that they have in here, and the amount of support characters they have in there. Also the stage design, which looks beautiful. Now let me say this, that when I record video game footage, like, the videos I record get recorded in a 2-minute increments. And what I have to do with those 2-minute parts is that I have to take them to Windows Movie Maker and I have to fuse them together, like, just to make like a 10-minute or like 11-minute video, and that ends up lowering the quality of the actual footage. And when I upload it to YouTube, YouTube, it lowers the quality of a video that gets uploaded to that site as well. So you might not be seeing it as well as I did, like, when I was playing it. But the graphics on the game are beautiful. They aren't as pixelated as the YouTube videos show that they are. But yeah, like, they are good, and they are better than the last game. So definite improvement from its previous title, One Piece Gigant Battle 2 Shin Sekai New World. For the amount of content, the graphics, the, just everything with it. For the anime fans of One Piece that gets this game, I would go as far as giving this an 8 out of 10. Non-anime fans, I can give this no lower than like I can see giving this game no lower than like a 7.8. So yeah, that's my review for One Piece Gigant Battle 2 Shin Sekai New World. I hope you guys enjoyed my playthrough of it. I tried to be as helpful as I can, and I put the missions in the order that I did them in the videos that I uploaded. And also up to a certain point yesterday, I went back and I up to a certain point in the videos, I had actually put the islands that I was on, so that way if you get even more confused, with the with the battle levels and all of that, like you don't know what mission this, like you don't know what island this mission is on, then I have it in the description what island I'm on, but I only did that up to a certain, video. But yeah, One Piece Shin Sekai New World, 8 for anime fans that knows about One Piece, and 8 out of 10 for, anime fans that know about One Piece. If you're not a fan of One Piece and you just happen to play this game, like I said, like I can't see you giving this game no lower than a 7.8 out of 10. So yeah, that's it for One Piece. My review for One Piece Shin Sekai New World Gigant Battle 2. Yeah, that's it. And I'll see you guys for the next ADS play right here on my channel at youtube.com/Azareal. Peace.